It's more unsolved. Oh, he believes it was a murder. The police stole.
I believe you killed your brother.
I don't negotiate with murderers because I am one. Crud. Well, as much as I'd like to help you investigate your brother's murder, and I would like to help that, I think it makes more sense for me to help these guys. Helping Walls could help stop Osborn. I think we should look into that. I can understand if Zach wants to go ahead and do some more fact checking. Like, I don't know what kind of fact checking you do on your brother's murder.
No, it's like the trail's gone cold for now. So the only real lead he has is that the fact that a certain fraternity was harassing him.
The Zetas?
Yes.
My knuckles whiten on the table. I've done my own inquiries into the Zeta organization, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I also want to stop the Zetas, and I think the Zetas are tied in with the whole Willow Springs problem. So I'm more than happy to investigate that. But I think if we've got Dante working on the Willow Springs problem, there's a missing person. We should find them before something terrible happens to them.
Yeah, it's like Zach is willing to put his personal investigation on the back burner for now, considering the fact that he has no strong leads.
Well, and James, I believe, has the in, so I think we should follow James.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, like, if we have time later, Zach will sit down with Claudia and tell her his full story because he feels like she is somebody he can trust.
Okay. James, have you taken this case yet with Mr. Walls?
Oh, yes, I've investigated. I haven't talked to him personally. It was just one of his companies that it was just something about people going missing. I had to deal with this so-called psychic there. He was a cold reader if I ever saw one.
Who was the psychic?
Some guy named
I'm looking for it. Where is he? Nope, that's the wrong instance of a word.
Wait, psychic, what are you talking about? That's pitch boss.
Here we go. It's Lloyd Davidson.
Lloyd Davidson. That name means nothing to me.
Yeah, it was something I was doing on my own to build up my something as a
Yeah, didn't the weird professor write to one of you people?
What weird professor?
Okay. Man, I have so many people of interest in my little black book here.
You should see my notes then.
Yeah. Well, let's not worry about it. Nicholas East is still alive. That's good. I forget. Nicholas East is a grad student. I forget who his professor is.
I believe I still have that down here somewhere.
We did talk to him before.
Here we go. Trakoga U. Kent Knight.
Kent Knight.
Doctorate of Biology and Medicine at Trakoga University.
Yeah, he was the one who
laid back in Pudge Jackal, who's happy to talk with the students.
Yeah, he wasn't very helpful. It was East who came with us on our first escapade into the Willow Springs Park. But I'm just making a note of that he's a person of interest. I think.
He practically dragged me to that factory when I mentioned the orange stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what James thinks the next lead is on his investigation is.
Actually, I think I may have investigated a little too much. I didn't really interview anybody there. I think that I think that might help me solve this case.
Well, who are you looking for?
Just some factory workers. Just asking what was going on at that time. Where they were, where their last position was. I can.
So there are some missing factory workers.
Yes.
Okay. How many?
2.
So there's 2 missing factory workers. And do you have any leads on where they went or what happened to them?
There was this device with this. There was. I talked about the evidence. The shadows, the glass plane, the blood. I'm sorry. It's been too.
That's understandable. Also, I think you might be lifting your push to talk button a little too early because I think your last word is cutting off.
As I was saying, listen. It's been 2 weeks. I can't remember everything.
That's okay. These missing factory workers, they aren't ferrets, are they?
Not that I know of.
In fact, they were.
Oh God, I know where your guys are. We can wrap this up in 10 minutes.
Assuming we can track down the
No, I know exactly where they are. They're at the morgue.
Yeah. Assuming that those monstrosities didn't get out somehow.
Mr. Wonderful assured me they would have perished in the flames. That we should go find out.
Yeah.
If they didn't perish in the flames, that would be we go to the morgue. Either they're there or they're not.
It's like, will they let us into the morgue?
I could figure out a way to get in.
Well, the problem, if we just get into the morgue, if we broke into the morgue, we would need to have somebody be able to identify dead bodies, especially burnt dead bodies. Are any of you forensic pathologists?
Nope.
Well, we don't have to break into it. I could have used my pass or just grease a little money, reporter looking to get some more pictures.
Yeah, you guys are rich. We could just go talk to the mortician. Maybe he'll tell us.
It's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Zek ain't rich.
Yeah, you're the rich one.
Well, we could grease a few. I would also be willing to grease a few palms. James is a reporter. He's looking for 2 missing people. He thinks they might be connected to the arson that happened last week.
Mm-hmm.
We could just go there and the guy will tell us or not.
Debunker, I don't work for any.
Yeah, but you're a specific kind of reporter. You specialize in.
I prefer the term investigator.
Okay, all right. So investigator. So you've been hired to investigate. We could just go look. I mean, like I said, we could just go there and ask. They could, greasing palms, negotiation, and all sorts of material to get in. If they're there, this solves your entire issue.
Yes.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
Good. Let's all get in the car. My car seat. I have a 1920s car that seats 8.
Wow, so fancy.
Well, have you ever seen these cars? They're ridiculous.
I haven't seen the 8-seater ones. No, I bet they look wonderful.
Well, I'm talking about one of my favorite is this movie from the 1970s where the band pulls up and they have a 1970s car and there's 3 of them in the front seat with their instruments. And it's like they just pull up like it's no big thing. Although that is in the 70s.
Wider than long. That'll be fun.
Now that I think about it, the cars might be smaller because I'm here in Cincinnati, where Carew Tower was famous for having one of the biggest parking garages, but they had to shut it down in the 50s because cars were too large.
I'm still going to say you are definitely rich, and so you can have whatever vehicle you want. So
I probably have a car that would seat 4 of us uncomfortably.
Yeah. All right, so you all are heading to the morgue. And of course, it's a small building attached to the police station, and
Well-
there's a public entrance.
To clarify, there's more than one morgue, so we'll have to go to the one that would service the incident we had before, which might require some investigation.
I'll go ahead and bypass that and say that you can definitely notice the specific morgue that this is related to.
Yeah, because we have an investigator and a reporter, so that makes sense to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't
right,
think it
right.
will end up being an actual problem for your crew as it is right now. So you can definitely find the morgue that is handling the bodies for this specific case. And it's the morning. It doesn't seem like it's very busy at all.
This morgue is quiet. Wait,
It's
supposed
more
to
or
be.
less. It looks like it's probably was some sort of small clinic at some point, but eventually became the morgue when too many people started dying there. So you have good feelings entering into this building. There is a small front office desk if you enter inside. I guess that's actually the question. Are you just going to waltz in? Is that the plan?
James is our lead.
James.
I'll walk in.
Okay. You walk in, and there's a small front desk for an enclosed front office, so that no one just wanders straight in. And there's a very bored-looking individual sitting up there. Let me go ahead and roll up and see what he is. All right. It looks like a reasonably well-dressed cow. She's currently has the newspaper open flat on her desk, and it definitely looks like she's been drawing on the front page. And she looks up at you a little bit lazily. Morning there.
Morning. Morning. Do you have? I understand it that the victims of the Randall Tower fire in.
Oh, would you happen to be with the police?
Not exactly.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, but I believe I was told that was still under investigation. And unless you have either express permission from the police or a badge yourself, I can't allow you in. Sorry. And she goes ahead and makes another doodle on the front page of someone jumping out of the flaming building.
Zach is gonna kind of furrow his brow at that.
Anything else I can help you with today, sir?
That will be all.
I'm going to step up next. Excuse me, ma'am. Is this the sort of badge you're requiring? I'm going to show her my badge.
The press
She'll
pad.
go ahead and take a look and go, yeah, that's good enough. You can go ahead and head back. Doctor's in there.
I just smile at the other guy. This means you're a reporter.
Your friends are going to have to wait out here, though.
Ma'am, this guy here possibly knows the people affected in the fire. He wants to see if it's them or not.
Which person are you pointing to?
I believe it was the debunker that said the ferry.
Okay. And she'll look over back at James and go, well, really now?
Yes.
And I should be buying this because...
I'm going to roll my eyes and say, because Mr. Jackson said so, and give her 20.
Well, Mr. Jackson does make some very convincing arguments. Go ahead and roll me negotiation real quick to bribe her. This is definitely going to be will negotiation.
This definitely. All right. Oops. One success.
That is enough. She will go ahead and take her newspaper and just slide it on top of Mr. Jackson. Oh, well, wouldn't you know it? It's just about time I go ahead and take a break. What a shame. I guess I'll just have to leave the door unlocked as I go back in. She says as she gets up and rolls up the newspaper around the dollar bill and starts to head back. She takes out her keys, opens up the door, and walks into the back and leaves it just hanging wide open.
I will slip behind the desk and say, I'll keep this chair warm. You guys go.
Yeah, I stare at Zach, and then we go.
Zek's just gonna kind of shrug and follow.
All right, she'll go ahead and start walking down the hallway, and she'll actually point out where the main morgue is. And before she pops over to a smaller room, which is looks like to be a very small break room, and begins pouring some coffee. You have access to the morgue, and in fact, you see another person in there. They are a rough-looking mouse. And he appears to currently be examining a body, heavily burned. Hmm? Oh, who are all of you? Why so many of you? This place isn't that large.
Hi, I'm investigating. I'm investigating the fire. Tell me, were there any ferrets that were in the blaze?
If you could call them that anymore.
You mean they're not recognizable?
Well, take a look at this and tell me yourself. He says as he points to the burned body on the table. Took me a welding torch and a few hours just to break it out of that gold-plated mess they were in.
I'm gonna quickly turn my back to this. I do not want to see this.
Indeed, it is very gruesome as their fur is singed. They have been baked alive in an oven that they were trapped inside.
Oh, Jasper, I hope you didn't suffer like this.
Poor bastards here probably did. Now, you take a look at all of these, you can see where all the contact points were. It looks like at this time, they weren't even on their feet. You can tell because all the largest burns are over here on their backside. They've already fell over. So if I'd put it to anything, I'd say maybe they received some sort of amount of blunt force trauma prior to the fire.
That's possible.
Thing is, I don't really know from what. Police apparently doing some interviews, but you know, independent counsel and all that. So they haven't told me anything.
I take out my camera. Can I take a picture of them?
Sure, but I think you gotta ask them for their consent first, he says as he turns its head slightly towards you. What do you think? You ready for your close-up?
Ugh. Zach is just gonna kind of lift his hand up and like, I'll be waiting outside.
Just don't touch them. You might have to wash your hands afterwards.
I'm not. I'm not planning on touching them. And I take a picture of each of the ferrets, trying to get, trying to see what's left of any distinguishing facial features.
There's quite honestly not a whole lot left of them. You could definitely end up getting their height, their probable weight, prior to being burned to death. And of course, the doctor is there ready to say, I got some dental records here too. Still
That'll
gotta
be
have them
perfect.
match up to someone, but
Okay. I'll. Tell me about those dental records. If they, I'll match.
Okay.
I'll match them to see if they're matching to anyone I'm looking.
Well, I can give you copies of some of the work I got here if you want to go match them against any records you might have. I still gotta send some over to the police as well.
Understandable.
Just that's a shame, you know? Seeing kids like this get involved in gang warfare like that. Especially
Yes.
something this preposterous. Kids going around like they're knights in shining armor or something. Who comes up with this nonsense? It's
Perhaps
like a
they were-
terrible genre fiction book.
Perhaps they were forced to.
I still got some complaints for the writer here.
Thank you for your time.
Anytime.
Well,
And oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna take a picture too, but
Yeah, you can
I'm
take
not
your
really
pictures as
doing
well.
too good. Just kind of like point, look away, click.
Right. The subjects are definitely not resisting taking their photograph, so you don't have to put any effort into this one.
I just don't want to see the bodies. I'm just doing it, pointing it and then look.
So you've more or less gone and taken their pictures, and you were looking for facial features, but you didn't actually like examine the bodies per se, did you?
I'll examine them too.
Okay, if you want to actually go over them more finely, what do you have for examining cadavers?
Academics.
I'd say this is probably something along the lines of mind, academics, and observation.
Can I assist them with observance observation?
Absolutely, you can assist as much as you want as long as you don't throw up.
That's why I got determined.
It's like Zach is like, if I must.
Yeah. Only one of you will be able to assist in this case. This is not a very large room, and
I don't know. I'm not sure. It's like, what have you got in observation or academics?
I'll re-roll observation. Searching for clues is one of my
I mean, I've got species, career, and D8 in mind or will for observation.
So
I got the 86 and the 8, the 10.
Yeah, Edmund would be better suited to this than Zach then. Yeah.
so what's observation? So what's favorites again? Hello?
Oh, hello. So, favorite uses after you roll, if any of your dice came up 1, you can re-roll 1 if your favorite use came up. You can have a favorite use in a skill if you have at least a D4 in the skill from any source.
yes.
So yeah, I rolled observation, and you can see I rolled a 1.
Yep, so you can reroll the 10. Go right ahead.
Oh, what's your favorite use of observation?
Searching for clues.
And not hidden ninja.
All right, and Edmund, you go ahead and assist, so you will get an extra D8 as well to roll, James. You're already up to 3 successes. You're up to 4 successes. Examining their bodies, you actually find that a couple of them have some very noticeable tattoos on them that would actually serve to identify them directly if you can get someone who happens to know who had these tattoos. The morgue doctor will actually kind of look at them and go, "Huh, didn't see all that underneath all the burned fur. It kind of all darkens up once you put it under heat. That's good work. I'll go ahead and write that down in my notes."
Zach is currently shivering in the hallway, trying not to have traumatic memories.
Taking a look at the tattoo, you can tell it looks like it's probably was maybe a deep shade of red before, and is in fact in the shape of a hammer and sickle.
And I'm happy to see this, and then go. Thank you so much. I'll be, this is this is exactly what I need. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Anytime. Just close the door on your way out.
Will do.
All right. So, the lot of you head up to the front, correct?
Yep.
The nurse comes back up front too and is ready to take her chair back.
Oh yeah, I would jump out of the chair, as soon as she came back in.
She'll give you a little smile and take a seat back down, pull up her pencil, and get right back to drawing on the front page.
I'll take the crew aside. Says, "Well, did you get any positive IDs?"
There were some tattoos. There were some tattoos there. I think that might help to identify them with any of the workers there. I'll be sure to check out the factory as soon as I can, as soon as the flow.
We'd have to do interviews or get evidence that these tattoos match these people's bodies.
I'll look. Like I said, I'm gonna look into that.
All right. Well, let's get the car. I'll take you where you need to go.
Okay. I go to the factory.
All right. So the four of you are going to go to the factory. While all of this is going on, let's go ahead and check in on our odd couple real quick.
Damn it, Oliver, I said clean the bedroom. Look, man, I can't live in your stuffy lifestyle.
Well, I gotta put my machines of the damned somewhere. Let's see.
Look,
Dante's
man,
investigation.
The world
So
don't
you're
roll.
heading out for the day, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Claudia left early, and outside on the streets, you can see about this time, other people are also leaving their homes, heading to their workplaces around town, and a couple have cars, others walk, and Willow Springs isn't so large or unplanned as to make any journey like that difficult. In fact, your own walk is basically going to be very enjoyable. You see the band of your childhood friends heading east, though. Towards the edge of town. And towards the mechanic shop, just behind Albert. Or where Albert is. You also happen to spot, of all people, Claudia Harvey and her little friend Curtis, who you hypnotized before, walking around, though not directly to school. In their arms, you can see a large stack of loose papers, and they're going to door with them.
Okay.
Are you going to interact or talk with anybody? Or are you going to go straight to the library and other town offices?
I mean, I feel like I'll obviously walk past everybody, but I'm not going to directly interfere with them.
Okay. As you walk by, your friends will actually go ahead and approach you. Clayton, Carmen, and Roy. Oh! Hey there, Dante. Right, Dante. Oh, funny seeing you in town.
Oh, yes, see. Wait, what?
We were just heading to the bus stop. We knew you'd be in town soon. Something seems strange.
Yes, we've had this conversation already. You see, I was not waving to you because I was going to see if you remembered me, but now this is something else. Something else is now going on. That is good to know.
Oh, wait. So you already know that something strange is happening in town?
Yes, people are forgetting about you.
Oh no.
Yes, you've said this before, but now it seems as though you do not remember that I've already been in town for some time. Which
so strange.
Means that something else is also going on. Yes, this is very... By the way, I assume that I'm walking with Mr. Wonderful.
Right. Mr. Wonderful is just kind of being respectfully quiet at the
Right,
very moment.
I didn't think you mentioned him, so I wanted to just double check on that fact.
Yeah, no, he escapes while you're not looking.
Well, no, he's not escaping because there's nowhere to escape to. He's here for his own good.
Exactly. But the kids will kind of look at you and go, "Well, we already told you about that. Do you know where Wanda is, though? Have we told you? We haven't seen her all morning. We usually go over to her place and have breakfast with Elise, but she said Wanda had already gone out to see us."
She's walking around giving out flyers or something? I do not know. She did not stop like you did, so I assume she does not remember me.
Oh, little Claudia over there, her sister?
Oh wait, sorry. I thought that's who you... Sorry, my mind blanked for a second.
Nah,
See,
that's
I'm
cool.
gonna be honest with you. When you said Wanda, my first thought was Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch from Marvel, and I forgot who I was dealing with. My
Who's to
mind
say
is
they aren't
just...
the same.
My mind is just... I don't know what the hell's going on.
I understand.
You put me in a Stephen King novel, and suddenly I lost track of all the details.
Gosh, you're such a terrible small town individual.
Yeah. Man, that clown is gonna eat me alive.
But yeah, we haven't seen her all morning.
What
Did
about,
you know what happened to her?
what about Albert?
Well, I think we already saw him going to work.
Right, but he did not say anything about this?
No, I haven't said anything. He's usually pretty nice to us, at least.
No, about his, sister.
What's the question here?
Hold on, let me go back to my notes.
Yeah, I know.
My problem is that my notes have gotten so large that the fact that I put my backstory in the notes also. There's so many pages, and I gotta figure out where in the middle of all the pages, my list of childhood friends and people I know is. Let's
Oh,
see.
trust me, I understand. I'm looking at 10,000 words here right now.
Yeah, that's what I said, right? Wanda Harvey is Albert Harvey's sister, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's what I asked. Okay, when you paused and asked me to refresh what I was saying, made me think that I was saying something wrong, so I was going back over my notes.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure what the question was. But yeah, they'll confirm it's like, yeah, well, there's brother and sister. Yeah.
No, that's not what I didn't ask that in character. I was asking you because I thought I had got the relationship wrong.
Okay, yes, okay.
I was asking if they had talked to Albert about Wanda. About his sister. And that's when you asked me to double around, and I was like, wait a second, is he not his sister? Let me double check my notes.
No, we didn't really get a chance to ask him before he left for work.
Well, they're
But
here.
Elise said she already left.
Well, we are here by the bus station, and the bus station is next to the mechanic shop where Albert works, so you're right here to ask him.
Oh, well, I guess if you think he knows, we'll go ahead and ask him.
Yeah, you would know better than I would.
And they'll go ahead and start heading towards the gas station. And Mr. Wonderful will sort of smile and look at you. Friends of yours?
Old acquaintances, but you can see from them what the problem is, yes?
Surprised an old man like you has friends this young. Yeah, I can see that's a problem.
As I have previously told you, the monster, creature, whatever, has some sort of strange, time-altering effects. They were kidnapped when we were all children together. I aged normally, they did not. They are...
Time-altering effect.
They are,
No,
theory, as old as I am, even though I am 50-something years old, and they appear to be teenagers.
No, I think I know exactly what may have happened to them. You know the mechanical suits I made, right? I told you about that with the woman in black, right?
Yes, you've told me about them some time ago.
Right. One of the properties of that was that the individuals that would be attached to it would stop aging. They wouldn't need to eat, breathe, or anything. I wonder if whatever this thing is that had captured them before, it actually has the same property.
Well, as I have said, these kids they have aged perhaps 2 to 3 years, whereas I have aged 40. It is. There is a difference here, but they are not the same people that I left behind. Also, this is not all of the problem, as they had just reminded me, and is news to you. People around here are starting to forget that they exist. Also, there appears to be some sort of weird paradox going on where they do not remember what has happened 3 days ago.
Yes, it's very strange. Maybe something's happening every few days then.
Perhaps I suggest that you may start writing down notes on paper so you do not forget, or if you do forget, you remember to look at
you're
paper.
Right, pocket notebook. And he reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a fresh, small little notebook and a pencil.
Yes, just start to write things down so you do not forget, or if you do, just remember to check paper so I do not have to explain every day. I could not imagine doing that. That would be very awkward for a long-term relationship, to marry a woman who forgets things every day.
It might sound crazy, but I think I may have heard about something like this before. Osborne said that that there are some people out there with the ability to alter people's memories. Can you believe that? Like, I mean, can you believe anything? Like longtime friends or enemies, that you're part of your family, or that you never knew anything at all?
Alright, but this is a town-wide effect. As I said, people are forgetting these people altogether. It's not a single person sort of thing like you're describing.
Maybe someone really popular goes around and shakes everyone's hand.
If that
gives a big shrug.
If that were true, I do not think that they would be very popular, seeing as people seem to forget them.
Well, if you can introduce yourself once, you can introduce yourself 1,000 times. It's easy.
Yes, but then people would remember you because you keep introducing yourself.
Exactly, so you get perfect at it. Like this. Hi, I'm Mr. Wonderful. I'm here to bring you the latest and greatest of products, he says as he reaches out for your hands and starts shaking it.
I think for now we should probably stop using that name.
Well, what do you suggest then?
Well, we are trying to stay low, so you do not want to be using the name that people will be looking for, but at the same time you do not want to be using your real name still, because 1, you hate your real name, and 2, people who know your real name will also be looking for this. So perhaps this is time to come up with a new nickname that we all will start calling you.
Well, if my experience is anything, if I come up with a name, it's going to be 3 pages long.
Right, but we need to summarize it in 1 word, the same way that you already have. Or in 2 words at most.
Well, that's why Wonderful was so great.
Yes, maybe some sort of antonym or synonym, depending on how you're feeling right now.
Fantastic?
No, that sounds like some sort of comic book character.
Yeah, I could see some legal issues happening.
I mean, I don't know, comic books don't exist yet, do they?
I know, it's a meta tease, it's okay.
Mr. Fantastic is until the 60s.
No, but I mean comic books as a whole, right? Because
they've been around for years.
They're just not all superheroes yet. This is like the era of like the Masked Vigilante.
Right.
I mean, yeah, this is the era of Batman.
This is the era of reprints.
Well, it's not the era of Batman.
Of
Batman starts
reprints.
like a year before Superman does. Or after Superman.
Yes, but this is the 1920s. I think most comics were like funny reprints back.
Yeah, a lot of them would be newspaper comic strips.
Right. Either way. Let's just think here. How about Mr.
How about just calling me Mr. Gray?
Mr. Gray. Remind me, his first name is his last name is Wallace, right?
Correct.
What's his first name?
Grom.
Why Gray?
He sort of takes a look at his gray fur. I spy with my little eye.
Okay, if you insist, if this is the name that you think will last you a while.
I can see it lasting a month. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the town then.
Very well.
All right, so you two are going to do research. Dante, describe to me how you're going about this and what you're looking into exactly.
Well, I mean, I will take him to the edges of the forest. I will show him the fungus flowers things, and the coloration, and the deadness that is on the inside of the forest. He's already seen the people who are forgetting things, apparently, and the people who are also in their own
Yeah.
personal Groundhog's Day, apparently.
You like demonstrate to him like the trees that bleed, right?
Yeah, I mean, I show him basically everything I can know.
He will genuinely gasp. What is? It's just pouring out Vrill. Look at this. I don't taste it or touch it or anything, but look.
Do you think with your own supply of Vrill you would be able to remake your acid?
Well, I mean, it could fuel something if I had something, but
Right, as we've already said, that the thing that is beneath the surface could possibly be excavated with a supply of your acid. Just as I thought.
if I had one, I could definitely work something out here, I think.
If you had one, what?
One of the spraying machines.
Why would you need a spraying machine?
Well, because that's the one I set up to transform Vrill into acid.
Right,
Or
but
whatever
you
it was,
said
really.
it was just a combination of things. Could you not just mix them on the ground and let them eat their way through the surface?
He'll like tap his foot a little bit. Well, the thing is, I never really understood what process it really went through. I had a good amount of time looking at it. I could maybe fashion up something that looks similar. I don't know if I could ever get something that works the same.
But you made the device.
No. Like I explained to the woman in black.
Nope. You did not explain it to the woman in black. You explained it to Claudia Greyhouse. We said.
Yeah, I haven't revealed on the woman in black.
Yes, we were specific about that measure.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you specified it in the opposite direction where he didn't know you were Claudia.
No, that's why
No,
I specifically
I actually-
wanted to imply which one we were going to be saying.
Alright, so reverse that, and if I said it before, correct it. So, yeah, it's as I explained to Claudia. Osborne found all of these things underground, and I just modified them.
Oh, it is my understanding that when you told me before that it was the Vrill that she supplied you with, and then you combined it with something to make it into an acid.
Right, through the device that she gave me as well.
Oh, I thought she only supplied you with the Vrill.
Oh, that too.
Alright.
As much as she hated me, she was actually very helpful, oddly.
Is there not anything else you could do with the Vrill then?
Maybe, but to what end? What would I be
To-
doing with it here?
Eliminate the thing that is destroying this town to improve your name so you do not have to remain in hiding?
What, like a weapon then or something?
I mean, I probably just shrug. I do not know. You are the genius here.
Well, at least all of this isn't going anywhere, so I got some time to think.
You have
We can narrow down
suggested.
what we need to do.
You have suggested that the thing is moving beneath the town, which suggests that there is a time limit. If it is indeed heading somewhere, we would want to eliminate it before it reached its final destination.
Well, if it doesn't do that before lunchtime, we're probably still good. And if not, I think I saw a car that was unlocked over there on the street.
I do not endorse stealing of cars.
Well, let's focus on the task at hand then. So, So what do we need to do then? What is this thing? Where is it exactly? What does it look like? What does it eat?
It eats the life force of individuals that it determined to be valuable to eat. I do not know. It is large, it is subterranean, it has the properties that I have described to you before.
Alright. So it eats people.
It eats. It does not eat the people themselves, it eats some sort of energy that they excrete. I do not know if this is emotional, life force, or what have you. I was honestly not paying attention when the witch was telling me because I goddamn hate her so much.
Witches, right? More of those. Let's stay away from them.
Yes, I could probably call her on the phone. I do know where she is staying, but at the same time, the hate, the overwhelming hate.
Well, let's put that aside for the moment. So, if it was eating before, but it was eating off of your friends, what is it eating now? How long could it go without food? If it was a huge creature, it would have to eat all the time.
There was a building at the center of the forest, and in the building there was a mother and a child, and one of them was buried and dead, and the other one would take people and take it down to the entity. We should probably check the records for the town for missing persons to see how long this has been going on, to possibly answer your questions. In an out-of-character sense, I have forgotten a lot of stuff.
Alright.
Man,
so your
one
plan
would
then
wish
is
that
to-
the investigator, the woman in black, was here to help.
Well, you're on your own and you gotta solve your own problems.
Apparently.
I actually know less about this than you do.
Yeah, but you were in charge of, like, the investigations back when you were in town helping out with this, so I just assumed that you would remember more than I do.
Not really.
From a very real out-of-character sense, because I am just blanking on a bunch of stuff. Like, I've got the bullet point list, and I just can't remember. I remember there's the building that got burnt down in the middle of the forest, and there was the dead person that was buried there. There's the witch, or not the witch, there's the rabbit-faced woman who was taking people to the beast, and I don't remember how long she was doing it, but she was the child of the dead person buried there. It's like, there's a lot of minor details in between all of those bullet points that I'm forgetting. God damn, this entity is so hard on me.
Well, what if we don't even need to know when it began? Who's missing recently?
With the entrance to the underground has been closed, which is probably why the entity is now moving, if you suggest is true. There is perhaps the hint that one person is missing, but I do not believe this is true. It is yet to be investigated. She was indicating that she wanted to travel out to the forest again, but at the same time the entrance in the forest is no longer an entrance, so I do not foresee this as being a problem.
Alright, so let's assume that one person isn't missing. And you haven't noticed anyone else yet.
I have not.
And I'd say we could go around and ask, but if people are forgetting who even lives here, or other things.
Right, if we are encountering some sort of weird horror story here where people are going missing and that we forget that they exist so that we do not know that they are missing, then we are in a very confusing situation, because I could tell you right now, I do not know everybody that lives here at Willow Springs to know who is then missing that I would even have forgotten about in the first place.
So it sounds like, even if we learn anything, we're going to forget we've learned.
The only thing I could possibly think about here is that if we were to go to the city hall and check the census records against how many people live here currently versus how many people lived here last year and see what the discrepancy there might be.
All right, let's go check the records then. All right, so on this, Dante, you are not leading the charge whatsoever because you are not an academic, are you?
I am not.
Are you going to assist at all?
Hold on, let me just double check something real quick. Which means
I
scrolling
can
up to the
help.
top.
Can I have research?
We are not in the same town.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part.
I mean, I
undecided.
guess I do have a D8 mind, and I'm only rolling one die, so I guess I could try to assist.
You could.
And anything you find out, you could report back to us, and we can check with the city records.
Yes, I will leave a message with your butler. Man, it is a real shame we do not have some sort of mad scientist inventor who could create a phone you could take with you.
A phone that contacts people wherever you are?
Yes.
Ridiculous.
I imagine it to be some sort of brick-sized object that you hold in your hand with a large...
Perhaps you're thinking of a radio. I
Yeah,
think they used those
actually-
during the war.
Ham radio would actually be something that we would consider at this
I
time
would
period.
not, because a ham radio anybody could listen to. You'd
Well,
be bouncing them randomly off anywhere.
Ham is a specific bandwidth, but no, like at this time period, radios are big, huge, complicated things. It's totally in the pulp tradition for us to have our own private radio.
I'm just thinking in this scenario where somebody else is listening on the frequency that you're broadcasting at.
What are the odds of that?
All right, so
I don't know,
go ahead and give
narratively?
this to Mr. Wonderful and see if you get it.
I think you mean Mr. Gray.
Mr. Gray.
Mr. Dorian Gray, because he's an unkillable. That's where he really got the name.
The mad scientist who gets an assist bonus. Hey, he actually has 3 successes here. All right, so he will check through the town records and he'll kind of start taking a look at it. You know, it's really weird. It looks like it's actually been going down for the last 30 years. Now, I'm looking at some of these, and it says some of them have just moved away. But I see like there's a lot of missing person cases. This has been going on for a long while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I suppose this does not fit in with our supposition that the people are being forgotten and missing, because if they were forgotten, they would not be reported as missing, so I suppose this falls in line with the original train of thought.
Right, but if I take a look at these later years right here, the numbers just don't even change. Now, the town's not undergoing any growth. It's not losing anybody. Nobody has left this town whatsoever in the last year.
In the last year? I guess not. Not that I would know, but I've already said that I do not know everybody that lives in this town. Wait!
I see.
That one man, he did die.
Well, when did that happen?
Sometime last year, I believe.
Which person are you talking about?
Hold on a second.
I think he's talking about Jimmy Crack Corn.
Why, because you don't care? Clayton Bright.
It's Froggy went a courting and he did die. Sorry, my bad.
Clayton Bright is your friend right over here.
Is that... No, hold on a sec. Elmer Harvey... Oh, sorry, I mean Spirit Silverwind. I read the wrong note.
Right, that was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's within the last year. couple of weeks
well,
ago
these are
falls squarely within last year.
Well, I don't see his name here. Or at least it hasn't been stricken from the records, is what I'm saying.
Right, well, you say that, well, are you telling me then that the records cannot be confirmed or denied, or they are unreliable? You're telling me that the records are unreliable.
I'm getting that impression from here. Whoever's keeping these records clearly doesn't keep track of what's happening.
Okay.
Or maybe they get a little distracted with something. Whatever's been happening.
So the records are unreliable, which means that we cannot rely on the records.
What about your own memory? Is that reliable?
I have
Are you
not,
sure the Silverwind's dead?
Well, I have not been in town for 40 years, and by the time that I had come back, he was already dead. His house was ransacked. His belongings were taken. As far as, oh right, and his head was taken from his body.
Ugh.
I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that, right? Right? We got to the house. Yeah, that's right, because we arrived there, and then the police came afterwards. I remember this one.
Yes.
God damn my hometown.
I'm afraid to say your town might be full of a bunch of ignorant yokels.
Why would you be afraid to say that?
You're right, I'm not.
So that we cannot trust the record-keeping skills of the city hall, and all we have to go on is the memory of the people that live here, and that memory is in question. What is our next step?
Well, I'd say there's two things. The first of all, we need to witness if who happens to be leaving or entering the town at any time. So that if they leave and never come back, then at least then we'll know that they're missing, right?
I can only think of one person that fits that description.
Oh yeah?
The bus driver.